family says that Henderson was a brother, a father, and a grandfather as well. After the shooting, they're telling me that his grandkid will have to grow up without him, and possibly without a father too.
He got kids. He got grandkids. And they'll never get to know him.
Deputies say they found the father's body inside his home and later arrested the suspect nearby.
And I don't feel like it was an accident. I know it wasn't an accident. I'm hurt. So my uncle wouldn't never harm his kids. When it came to his family, he wouldn't harm nobody.
A family in Tacoma, Washington, lives were completely shattered just 2 days before the New Year's after a small disagreement tragically turned fatal. A young 22-year-old man allegedly decided to take things to the extreme after becoming frustrated with his father. This man, aspiring rapper Little Mac the Mobster, or 22-year-old Vendell Henderson, was said to be dealing with some personal stress and had not slept in 3 days before the horrible incident. Instead of redirecting the negative thoughts in his mind, he decided to do something that he tried to do just 6 months ago. 47-year-old Darryl Henderson was a man whose life choices led to hard living according to him, and regrettably led him to a life of confinement. He spent a lot of his time in his younger life in and out of jail, which caused him to miss some great memories in his kids' lives. However, despite his life choices, he had a woman in his corner who held the house down in his absence. Despite being a single mother because Darryl was not physically there at times, Ann, as I will call her, was a phenomenal wife and mother to his 4 sons. The couple had their first child together in 2001, and their second son, Vendell, came just a year later in 2002. Before becoming a mother, Ann graduated high school with her early childhood certification plus associate's degree, and she continued her education after marriage, all while raising her sons. Even with many challenges with their father out of the picture at times, it did not stop her from working 3 jobs to provide a very good life for her boys. In 2010, the couple had their third son, and the pair had their last son together in 2019. Ian continued to be there for Darryl through everything, and despite his life choices, he was said to be a solid person. His wife would end up achieving higher goals in life, obtaining her master's, and working in the local school district. Just in the early parts of December 2024, Ian even started a group therapy session for those dealing with grief and loss and ready to begin their healing process. However, nothing probably prepared her for needing to put her expertise to work inside her own home. On December 30th, 2024, at about 4 p.m., authorities were dispatched to the Henderson family home at the 2200 block of 165th Street East for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, deputies found a man inside the home suffering from gunshot wounds. Just before the police got the call to the home, 22-year-old Vendell and his father Darryl were having a disagreement about Vendell's baby mama. Darryl was trying to help his son not make a bad decision, but Vendell did not want to hear his dad's advice. I'm sure since Darryl was finally on the right side of the law and through life experiences, he did not want to see his son make a decision he could not come back from. Vendell's mother, Ann, also told deputies that her son and husband were arguing, and allegedly Vendell was having some life-ending thoughts. His dad kept trying to calm him down and explained that he needed to be there for his child. Vendell became a father just weeks after his 17th birthday and was active and present in his son's life from birth. On his son's birthday, just weeks before things changed forever, Vendell wrote, "I had to really sit back and tell myself, damn, you have a 5-year-old. This is something I never expected at this age, but everything I do now is for him. He really came into my life 5 years ago and gave it a good wake-up call. Now look at my little mini-me. Stop growing, son. I wish you could stay young forever. Happy birthday, son, and many more to come." He was present, he was there, but sadly, that might be the last birthday he shares with his son. On the day he shot his father, Vendell was allegedly screaming that he wanted to shoot people and was also high on pills and white powder. Ann told authorities that at some point during the argument between her husband and son, Vendell went into his room and asked his father to leave him alone. Darryl insisted they needed to keep having the conversation, and they continued to argue. Right before the shooting, Vendell asked his father what he would do if he hurt himself. His father then got into his face and told him to stop talking crazy. Vendell told his father to stop getting into his face because it was making him mad. His mother would tell detectives the next thing she knew, Vendell grabbed a handgun and shot his father twice. She said she witnessed the shooting, all while standing outside of the bedroom. This is when Vendell dragged his father down the stairs, asking his mom to help get him into the car, but decided to just leave the home. After leaving the home, Ian called 911 and said that her son shot his father. Darryl's 14-year-old son brought deputies into the home when they arrived, and Darryl was lying on the floor with 2 bullet wounds in his chest. Deputies began to perform CPR, and the 14-year-old boy told them that Vendell shot his father. Fire personnel arrived and tried to save his life, but sadly pronounced him gone at 4:19 p.m. During the course of that evening, deputies were able to get in contact with a then crying and emotional Vendell, convince him to give up his location. When they got to the home on 42nd Avenue where he was located, he did come out and was taken into custody. A man who lived in the house where Vendell surrendered spoke with deputies and said that he came to the house unannounced and told him that he shot his father. In speaking more with Vendell's mother, she expressed that her son was diagnosed as bipolar and schizophrenic. In an interview with detectives, Vendell said that he did not sleep in 3 days because of stress and anxiety and admitted to consuming pills and powder at a friend's earlier that morning before returning home around 11 a.m. Vendell further explained that argument with his dad stemmed from his father giving unsolicited parenting advice. He said his father was absent most of his life due to being in and out of prison. Then, just 6 months ago, he pointed a gun at his father during an argument and then checked himself into a psychiatric hospital. Prior to the shooting, Vendell said his father stood over him, talking about his responsibilities and telling him he needed to move out of the home. Vendell said they continued to argue for 3 to 5 minutes before he got the gun from up under his pillow and allegedly shot his father. Then, to add insult to injury, Darryl's father and Vendell's grandfather lost his life just hours after losing Jr., apparently passing from a broken heart after returning home from the crime scene. Prosecutors are charging Vendell with 2 counts of second-degree unaliving and second-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. On December 31st, a plea of not guilty was entered on Vendell's behalf during his arraignment, and his bail was set at $1.5 million.
A local family devastated tonight. Their loved one, Darryl Henderson, murdered. Then hours later, another family member passing away from grief. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gwen Baumgartner. Only on Cairo 7 tonight, the family speaking with our Louis Tran. He joins us live from Tacoma. Louis, they were in tears speaking with you tonight.
Yeah, Gwen, the family says that Henderson was a brother, a father, and a grandfather as well. After the shooting, they're telling me that his grandkid will have to grow up without him, and possibly without a father too.
He got kids. He got grandkids. And they'll never get to know him.
Kateri Whiteside's life has been turned upside down after her brother was shot and killed, and just hours later, her father passed away.
He came home and died. Literally, he came home and died because he couldn't deal with his son getting killed.
Investigators say that Darryl Henderson was shot and killed by his son Vendell Henderson after they had an argument about parenting advice. Deputies say they found the father's body inside his home and later arrested the suspect nearby. Detectives say that Vendell had been diagnosed as schizophrenic and bipolar and used drugs that morning. Whiteside says her brother and father were protectors, and they were very passionate about their family.
They made us feel safe in everything, in every way. And that security is gone.
And now the family says they're not putting their faith in the court system as they seek justice, wanting to know why their loved ones were taken too soon.
I just want them to know I love them. I love them. And I would give anything for them to just be back here.
Now, the suspect appeared in court and he's facing 2 counts of and 1 count of illegally carrying a firearm as well.
Thank you, Louis. Cairo 7 was there as Vendell Henderson arrived in court yesterday. Based on his prior criminal history, he was not allowed to have a gun at the time of Monday's. The judge set his bail at $1.5 million.
The unimaginable pain that Vendell caused sadly has had a trickle effect, and now the family have not only to bury Darryl, but Darryl Sr. I'm sure even though things have been rocky in the mind of Vendell over the past months, his family most likely never thought he would cross that line. Even though his father was in and out of jail, his mother made sure he had everything he needed and some. He did well in his younger years in school, went on adventures, played sports, he went on vacations, and even traveled out the country. His mom was educated and she spoke of her love for all 4 of her boys on social media. I know his father only being there off and on was not easy, but it does not justify Darryl's life being snatched from him. Then the two youngers are only 14 and 5 and still in the home, and unfortunately the 14-year-old witnessed the whole thing. That child did not deserve that, and I pray that he's doing okay. The road ahead will not be easy, but I pray and hope that one day the family will find peace again through such a dark time. My thoughts and prayers are with Darryl's wife Ann, his other kids, and extended family, plus Darryl Sr., who sadly lost his life due to a broken heart. Both of their lives mattered, and they deserve to be here. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.